Hey guys, welcome back. So what we're gonna do today is do a little more work on the garden. It is Good Friday and I am off today. This is not typical for me to have this much time to work in the garden, so I'm trying to take some advantage of it and honor Good Friday by not having a lot of TV watching and being outside, being reflective. So I thought I was gonna till today, our little area that I showed you last time, but I realized that that might not be a good idea since my plants aren't ready to put in the ground and I have dogs and they track in mud. So if I till up the grass over there, they're gonna be running all over it and bringing mud in the house. We have a dog door. So the reason I know that is because of the hill. So let me talk to you a little bit about the hill. So this is the hill. This is a giant pile of dirt that's been here almost 5 years now, 4 or 5 years. And it came from a storm shelter we had put in. And there's a storm shelter right there. When we first moved here, a funnel cloud went right over the neighborhood next to us, and we saw it. It was really scary. And it was shortly after a severe tornado had hit central Arkansas. And so we decided that we would play it safe. So Speckles likes to scope out this area, keep it under control, and I cover the hill with this black plastic, which keeps the grass from growing over it and allows it to where each year I can kind of chip away and take some dirt off of it and use it as fill dirt. But Speckles likes to yank the plastic off the top, so we might catch her today. Yesterday she was underneath the plastic, jumping around underneath it, and I didn't catch it in time. But anyway, so this is what that area is going to look like if I till it up. So I'm not going to do that today. Instead, I'm going to focus on getting my plants ready to go. So I have this little bar area back here that's like an outdoor bar, and I figured it'd be a good place to put seedlings in the little containers that I've collected to do that and get them going. Now that it's April, chance of freezing is a little bit lower, and so we can get that started. So that's what I'm going to work on today, and we'll see how it goes. So here we are back in the garage again, and I am going to open it manually because it's still broken. We will get it fixed at some point, but right now it's all done by hand. So get that open, and over here in this side of the garage, I had once started my quote organized gardening area, and as you can see, it needs some help. I have this shelf here that has tons of containers to help with the gardening, so I'm gonna have to sift through this and find the things we need and then actually carry it out to our spot outside where we'll be planting our seeds. So getting those started. See you in a bit. And one of the biggest things is the dirt. So I don't want to go to Home Depot or Lowe's right now because I don't really have to. I have plenty of dirt, and I have a few additives I can at least use to get the seeds started with. So I'm gonna try to use what I have, but that's been a little scary, I'll tell you. So I have a partially used bag of just seed starting mix that I'm putting in this box that I had to carry out, and I'm about to transition this partial bag of just potting mix, and it's covered in spider webs and I don't want to touch it. So I'm going to grab that and try to put it in the box and hope that all the spiders run away. Meanwhile, while I was looking at that, so I got the bag put in the box of the soil that I mentioned earlier. No spiders got me, thankfully. Hopefully we can make it through the afternoon spiderless, and I'll deal with the garage spiders on another video. But I also found this Bless This Garden hanger that my husband got me not too long ago. Well, actually, yeah, it's been a while. He used to work in a bookstore that He eventually left because it was too long to commute for minimum wage, basically. But he bought me this because he knew I wanted a garden, and that's how long it's been since I've had a garden. So several years ago, I'm going to clean this up and I'm going to hang it out by the garden. Who knows? Maybe it'll help. So got the cross hung up here. So that's done. This is our garden area again that we mowed the other day, and we'll probably have to mow again since I'm not going to till it right away, and it'll take time for the seedlings to grow. I also carried out all of our supplies to start our seeds, and I hung up a little nail and hanger item for my phone, so I can hang that up there and it can look over this bar area as I'm working, and I can share some things with you as I do that. So what about the seeds? Well, okay, I have a ton of seeds, by the way. Here they all are. These are fresh from this year, bought them from Dollar Tree, actually, brand American Seed. They're not anything special, not anything super, listen, this is my first gardening journey. I am not gonna spend a ton of money right out of the gate if I can't get into habits that help me actually take care of and maintain the garden. So I've got some cabbage. I love snapdragons, they've always been my favorite. Sweet William, another flower, some sunflowers, I have grown those before, beautiful. Cantaloupe, very yummy. Basil, cilantro, so I have some herbs here. Got chives, watermelon, lavender. It's one of those plants that helps keep certain pests away that you don't want. Carrots, got some lettuce, marigolds, squash, cucumber, and peppers, and I have some tomatoes somewhere. Then I have some old seeds that they're probably like really old. Like these right here, Lily Mix may have some bulbs. Yeah, it has bulbs in it. Bulbs do not last very long, so seeds can store, you know, anywhere from 2 to 3 years. I'm still gonna put these in some dirt and see what happens, but I don't have very high expectations. Then I have some older seeds here that I've used years past. Again, not sure how old they are, but I know which ones are my fresh. Now, I got the dirt and the seeds. Once you have that, what are you gonna put them in? So egg cartons are really good. Actually, these type are probably the best because they're biodegradable and they help with moisture. If you use plastic ones, we're gonna punch some holes in the bottom of these so they can drain. Of course, my mother-in-law, really appreciative to her, got me these more professional seed starting things. I have 2 of these. And then this is just like a container that some, I think fruit or something came in from Sam. So I saved it, it's a good base. And then I have some cardboard containers that I'm just gonna put some seeds and dirt in and see what happens and go from there. Anyway, lots of things to work with, old pots, so we'll get going. So I'm about ready to try to mix up some of my dirt. I'm gonna take some dirt from the hill, over here by the hill, and here's the spider dirt from the garage, and yes, I have actually seen some spiders since I carried it out here. I'm gonna zoom in here and see if you can see it with me. There's a guy right there running around. Oh, I'm not a fan of spiders, and so I'm gonna try to figure out how to get these suckers off. Looks kind of black widowish, and then there was another one earlier that I should have taken a picture of that was kind of brown recluse-ish looking. So just love living in the South. It's so great. So I decided to line my box with some plastic, so like a plastic trash bag, because I'm probably gonna moisten it and I don't want the box to disintegrate before I'm done using it. So I've had my spider soil laying out here for a little bit. Hopefully they've had time to run away, and I know there's an inside. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I'm just gonna dump what's here into the box. And I know this is difficult, me trying to do this and hold on to the camera at the same time so you can see it. not really paying enough attention as I should be to potential spiders crawling on me. I need to get gloves. Hold on. Okay, we're back and we're gloved. Speckles is here to help us. Watch the spiders go. Let's go. Goodbye. Yeah, don't touch it. But you gotta touch it. Put it in. Dump it all out. There's some I just want to show you the difference in color here. See how that dirt is completely different color? It's got all that clay in it, and it's also, even though it's rained some, it's very, very tough to get out. Thankfully I don't need a ton. I might have to go get a bigger shovel, but it is like hard as a rock. Not completely hard as a rock, but it is tough. So I was about to go get a shovel, and I was putting down my little spade here, and every time this little string touches me, I think it's a spider, and it freaks me out. Just wanted to tell you that. So haven't gone to get the shovel yet. I saw this little spot on the hill where the dirt looked a little more loose, and I knew I had an anthill up here, so I just kind of scooped it a little bit. I'll show you. There it is. Ants are not happy that I scooped their roof off. So most of this morning I spent reading about ants. You know, I said yesterday that I went to get some Sevin dust, and then I decided against it, and then the Bayer salesman was at the place. This was a few years ago when I was trying to figure out how to treat the ants. So just standing on the hill here telling you this. Anyway, went down a rabbit hole of articles this morning, everything from Cornell University to University Extension offices to like homeopathic remedies for this and that, organic pesticides, and I don't know, it's so hard to choose what to use, because back when my dad used Sevin dust, that was considered a relatively effective and safe treatment. It's highly marketed. People would put it on physically on their pets and dogs, and some people still do, even though it appears to be pretty toxic, especially if you inhale it, and it is bad for the bees. So the Bayer guy was right. But trying to tell me that his product is safer and it stays in one spot, or I don't remember what all he said. Like, how do we know? How do we know? Because every time some product comes out, we use it, and then a few decades down the road, we find out that it causes cancer or it doesn't really work, and we shouldn't use it. And there are some tried and true methods. I even saw some people recommending that you get a partner and a shovel, and I don't recommend this, by the way, but get a partner and a shovel, find 2 anthills, scoop up some of the ants from each of them and toss them on the opposite anthill so they start fighting. And the thought was that the colonies are mortal enemies, so they would just kill themselves. They would kill each other. And yeah, one poster said that they had tried that. Oh, Penny's responding to the call. Where'd she go? Oh, she's in the shade. It's hard to see her. Anyway, one poster responded to that and said, I tried that and almost put me in the hospital because they got covered and swarmed in ants. So the ants I have around here, like they swarm, don't get me wrong, but they aren't as aggressive as what I've read that ants can be. Now, if I just like laid down in one, yeah, they would swarm me, but I tend to try to keep my distance. So yep, got distracted, meandering. I think I've decided not to try to shovel any more of this dirt. I started to think about it, and I think what my plan is, I have these older containers that have some potting soil in them, so I'm gonna dig those out and use that stir it up and try to moisten it up and see if we can use that instead of the hill dirt. So I will be using this hill dirt, don't get me wrong, mark my words, but I'm gonna need the tiller to help me out, and then I'm gonna need to figure out my ant solution. To the first pot, and I do remember this. So there is an ant colony in the pot. So, but I don't know that these are necessarily fire ants. Some of these look kind of brown, but so do fire ants. Like sometimes fire ants are, let me see if I can zoom in on one. These might be fire ants, because some fire ants can have like brown abdomens, and they're otherwise reddish. Anyway, I'm gonna let them figure out their situation and go to another. So here's another pot. We got some good stuff in there, but I was dog sitting a younger dog a while back, and he dumped it over and dumped out most that was in here, and it got lost. But we'll just use some of this. And I also want to try to figure out how to clean this. Like, I've tried using a pressure washer, which on a weirdly shaped item is not as effective as you think. So I think I'm going to try like a bleach mixture and see how that does to get some of this mildew off. So I've been mixing this for a while. I got it good and mixed all the different soils I use. Goodness knows what's going to sprout up, right? I also have some old soil still in these little containers from a few years ago when I tried to start a garden. I actually did. I planted a few things, but life happened and I got a few tomatoes and a couple other things, but really didn't work out overall. So I'm gonna take some of this and just like dump it into our mixture here. Got almost all of them. Here we go. Alright. Now, do that with the other one. Got these little pods that came out. Looks kind of gross. So back in the garage for a second, I decided I was going to moisten the soil, right? And I think I'm going to use some Miracle-Gro I have left over. I feel like it's better to try to make your own mix. There's like these, you know, Miracle-Gro soups that people can make that are just using a bunch of matter, organic matter, and letting it soak in some water and using the nutrients that come out of that. But I don't want this to go to waste. I want to use it up. And really, if I'm going to use Miracle-Gro, I want to use the spikes in the future because those are simple. But just add some moisture and some nutrients. We'll try some Miracle-Gro. We got that Miracle-Gro glue. I'm going to mix it up here. Sprinkle some in. And then stir a little bit. Just keep doing that until it's nice and moistened. And since, like I say, COVID-19, we're not going to Home Depot. We could, you know, we could take precautions and go, but it's nicer not to. So I'm going to keep adding and moistening up the soil, and then we'll start getting our planter items ready. We have our bird up in the nest. I believe it's a robin. I can zoom in close enough. I know I'm shaking a lot, so it's hard to really see her. She's sitting up there roosting on her little chicks. Very cool. So I think I've stirred my dirt long enough, so I'm starting to put it in my little bins here. And for this one, I'm just literally dumping it on the top and then raking it around until it smooths down into the little holes. And I'll keep doing that and then plant some stuff in it. So I have the 2 store-bought containers full of fresh dirt, and they're all done sitting here waiting for their seeds. Now I'm gonna work with my other containers that I'm repurposing. So here is the egg container. I'm actually going to cut the lid off with scissors, and then I'm gonna put the top part under it as like a water catcher or support, and then put the actual dirt in this part. But I need to poke holes in this part so that it'll drain, because if I don't, the soil will stay too moist and soggy. So I have these nails here. I mean, there are probably a multitude of things that would be easy or not, but I'm just literally gonna try to punch through each time. It's really not that difficult, and it's going well. So I recommend this hole punching technique. So sharp pointy nail hammer, just do it a couple times. I do have it in my cardboard box, so it has some give, and I'm not damaging the counter. Not that this one could really be technically damaged, but anyway, I'm gonna keep punching holes. So tons of containers, haven't put the seeds in yet. I'm about to do that. But this has been, you know, a full day of work, or will be a full day of work. It's been a half day of work so far. So I'm not going to be able to do days like this all the time, but initially getting set up, you've got to do stuff like this, and then you've got to maintain. Brought out some craft sticks because we need to be able to label the things we put in the containers. So just so you see what I'm doing, I've got I put the little seeds on top, and then I'm using this little thing to poke them down in there and down in the soil, and then I'm labeling them with a popsicle stick. These are bell pepper seeds right here. One of the dogs enjoys sunning. She's like an animal in the wild, soaking in vitamin D. Now that I've got everything seeded, I'm just doing a little bit of water over it. I'll have to water it really well over the next several days. Make sure that it stays moist and conditions right for blooming. Might even have to move these inside as storms are coming up over the weekend. So I'm gonna finish watering these and then wrap up the seed planting portion. So today has been a lot. It's taken a lot of time to get these all planted. I don't know which ones are going to sprout, which ones won't. Remember, we're using hodgepodge soil, and who knows whether we're using best practices for each type of seed. I did keep the packages so I could read the backs and try to figure out, you know, where in the garden area will be the best place to plant each item. And so much research has to be done sometimes, but I enjoy the process. I enjoy being outside. I have a desk job. I love my job. It's on a computer, and I design courses and oversee the design of courses for students around our state for online courses. Anyway, just it's great to have had almost an entire day without any kind of screen except this phone. And I think I'll close out the day trying to mow after I water this stuff, and then figure out if it does storm over the weekend, where will I put all of this? We'll figure it out though. Thanks for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing these seedlings grow. We probably won't see that happen for a little bit, but there are plenty of other things to do to get the garden ready for when they are big enough to be planted. So take care.